Hey, this is Rock Goddess for Sonic Excess. I'm here with Ralph of Obituary.
What's up?
Yeah, how's the tour going so far?
It's going great.
Really?
We're having a good time. Yeah, we're out with Unleashed and Carnifax. They're totally cool guys. We're sharing the bus with Unleashed. We all get along like thieves. It's great.
Oh, good. Any good road stories yet?
Not that I will say on here.
No, you're not going to share?
I will not.
You will not share. Okay, I can respect that. On a more serious note, has it been difficult to maintain Obituary with the all the members and their various side projects?
No, not at all. I mean, I have a couple side things going, including my own band, Ex Cathedra, coming out. Frank manages a lot of bands. The Tardy Brothers have a thing coming out called Tardy Brothers that I played on, but Obituary is all of our priority.
That's your number one.
Yeah, it
Good
kind of
to hear.
has to be.
Yeah,
It
good to
keeps
hear.
us rolling so that we can do all the other things on the side.
All right. Okay. Good to hear. Good to hear. Okay. I had a question about Florida. It's such an evangelical state. Was curious, what was the reaction from the mainstream when death metal started to emerge with bands like yourself, Deicide, Morbid Angel?
Well, first of all, I don't know what you mean by an evangelical state, but it's just music. It's not important. It's not like we're making some cause in it. I mean, I'm 40 years old. If you're 19 and you have to wear a certain kind of t-shirt and like metal is my cause, that's cool. I mean, that's youth. But if you're 40 years old and you think like that, you're an idiot and a loser.
Okay.
That's just
I can agree with
stupid. And back then, like, I wasn't in Obituary then, but I've known these guys, Deicide. I mean, I was in Deicide. All them bands, we've all known each other since then. You know, people on the outside looking at it, ooh, the Florida death metal scene. But to all of us, It was just, on Friday night, everybody's going to be at the Sunset Club, trying to underage drink and, hang out and watch bands. And it wasn't like some, sort of crusade or whatever to,
Sure.
We're going to make it. Bands just sabotage, kick the door open for the rest of us. And we're like, wow, you can get a record deal, do this for real. And that's what we did. And, so... I don't know what you mean by the mainstream. I mean, I am a practicing Catholic, so I don't, there's nothing, I can't think of anything that could possibly be offensive or objectionable about anything Obituary does.
Oh,
And
no,
there's
I totally agree with that.
So it's just music, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I there was a few, especially because of Deicide. There was a couple. There was one, I forget his name, but televangelist that Glenn had an on-air thing back and forth, a national televangelist back then that helped Deicide and the evangelist, and they actually ended up, they like each other, but
Okay.
it wasn't, if you were in it, it wasn't this
It didn't
intense
seem
thing
like...
that people that weren't in it thinks it just bands like playing music like in any other thing.
Sure.
It's just music.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Why did you guys move to Candlelight? What was the move about?
Well, again, the first album on Candlelight was Executioner's Return, which was the first album I did with the band. I think the other guys, though, every record before that was on Roadrunner, and I know that they weren't happy with everything. I think one of the main reasons is because Roadrunner, to their credit, got bands like Nickelback, Slipknot. I mean, they sold millions of records. Roadrunner is a business. The purpose of business is to make a profit, not to fucking, invest and risk their capital to please some 17-year-old in his mom's basement that wants something brutal. They're a business, and now they've got multi-platinum records. They succeeded beyond probably the wildest dreams of what they thought when they had Road Racers. So I don't see how anyone can fault that. That's the purpose of business, is to make money, and that's what they've done. But being on, the team, the side where the guys that are kind of getting pushed to the side because they're making all that other money, I'm sure that's not a happy feeling. So,
Hard for them.
and we have a certain contract that we wanted, as far as a record deal with certain things, and Candlelight said yes instantly to get us on their label without any sort of negotiation or anything. We want this, and they're like, yes, we'll do it right now. So it was good for both parties.
Oh, great. So you're going to keep ownership of the songs?
I don't want to get into
Don't wanna get into
specifics
that?
of it, but yeah, it's a very, very good deal for the band business-wise.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Okay. Now, of course, Obituary is one of the pioneers of death metal. How would you evaluate the state of metal today?
Well, in my opinion, I mean, today's what, September 28th or 29th?
29th, yeah.
So we've had this massive economic downturn with the bailout in the past couple of days. That's going to affect every business, everything in the,
Oh yeah.
you know, independent from that, the metal scene, I think, is really strong. I mean, look how many bands are touring, look how many, you know, like young bands, I mean really young bands, like 18, 19-year-olds are on the road all the time. People aren't selling as many records because of the way things have moved with MP3s and downloads and stuff, but I mean, metal is like, even though I just said a few minutes ago, it's not important, it's just music, but to the extent that things like that have a cultural influence, metal is a cultural influence again, like it was like in the mid 80s and stuff like that.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong. Very
Yeah,
strong.
so that's good.
Okay. I like to say Obituary passed on the earlier changes in death metal, the deep bellows, the ultra fast beats. Do you guys ever feel pressure to compete with death metal's ever increasing extremes?
I don't think so. I mean, Obituary has which is one of the few bands that does have an instantly identifiable sound. John's vocals, Trevor's guitar sound, the rhythms that, you know, we play together. I mean, it's instantly recognizable. And you just asked me about the state of metal, and there are so many bands that are doing things, but they're just like in anything. When there's a glut of a certain type of thing, there's very little individuality. Obituary, that's one thing you can say about Obituary, or like Cannibal Corpse or whatever. And I don't even really listen to death metal, but about certain kind of bands like that, two notes and you know it's that band. And Obituary is completely unique, so no, there's no pressure to change. There's nothing, I mean, no one can do Obituary as well as Obituary.
Right.
You know, if we tried to be whoever, some necrophagist, you can't do them better than they do them. That would be stupid. And plus, like I said, we're all 40 years old. There's no point in trying to, like, you know, change to please other people or something like that. That would be absurd.
Keep trying to copy and move on. Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is one reason Obituary has lasted so long, because it's just an uncompromising, this is the sound, and people like it.